with that, I would say Ronald Reagan.
All right, this is, for those of you that are on council, the question is, what has been the biggest challenge you faced as a city council member, and how did you overcome that challenge? If you are not on council, what do you believe will be your biggest challenge as a city council member, and what will you do, or what do you intend to do to approach that?
I don't think it's one thing in general, but to maintain and work well with current council members, like I said, to get along with everyone and see things the way they see it, and hopefully they'll see things the way I see it, and with that come to a consensus on thoughts and how we try and move the city forward. Again, I think current council is doing a fine job. I look forward in working with them if elected, and don't see any strengths, weaknesses, or problems with anyone currently on council, and would look forward to sitting side by side and working with them.
What do you believe is going to be the biggest challenge you're going to have if you're elected to council? How will you deal with it?
Biggest challenge, I think sometimes I can be pretty steadfast in my opinion on things, but I really do try to, if I don't agree with someone or don't understand why they have a belief, I do really try asking, questions. Sometimes people think it comes across as me questioning them, but I really want to understand why somebody has a belief, especially if it's different from my own. So I believe we serve, I don't currently here, but the city council serves quite a diversity of people, and that's a lot of opinions to understand. But I believe it's one of the obligations you have when you're a public figure, not a public figure, but representing the public. So I think just taking the time to gain that understanding is going to be obviously something that will take a lot of time and be a major challenge.
We serve at the pleasure of our citizens. We serve at the pleasure of the people who elected us into office. Is there any one particular item that is harder for city council to work on? Not necessarily. Everything is important. Budgets, infrastructure, fire and safety, police, those are all important, and none are more important than the other. So there's not any one particular challenge. You have to be steadfast and hard for all of them.
Just like with anything new, I've never done this before. My current IT position, you're expected to know everything, but there's things you're not gonna know. But what do? You get in there, you try to figure it out, and you educate yourself. I would do the same thing. If elected, I'd like to get in, and the things that I don't understand or don't have knowledge of, I would like to educate myself, which I continue to do. And then just build relationships and understand how this works and what I can bring to the table and help benefit the residents of this town.
I think the biggest challenges I had at first was overcoming the learning curve and trying to catch up. I missed the first meeting of the year and just trying to cram as much knowledge as I could. And then what I believe that the city is in the process right now of evolving to is an entity that's focused on knowing that our customers are the citizens of Liberty. And I think that if we acknowledge and proactively work toward being and developing the city that our citizens dream of, we will have accomplished our task. I personally overcome challenges by working harder, asking a lot of questions, and asking more questions, and then looking at avenues that the cities have that they can other cities have successfully accomplished something, or what on similar projects. I don't think it's wrong to copy what somebody's done that's right. And I don't think it's wrong to find out what steps they took that we don't want to keep doing. I also think it's real important to get the citizens' input and then to think outside the box because we are growing and changing. Thanks.
We're going to do two more questions and then follow up with the closing statements. What do you believe is Liberty's greatest asset and Liberty's greatest weakness?
I think our greatest asset is our people. And I think that if we could get the energy funneled to our people to actually reflect the gems and the wonderful things that are in our community and give them a little bit more attention, maybe dress them up a little bit, maybe do a little refinement or a little refurbishing, maybe do more marketing, getting a little bit more on our website and actually showing and talking about the great things that we have in our city that we're proud of and make them more public. I think that would sell our town, bring us businesses, and bring back a sense of pride that we are one of the top communities in Texas.
Like Ms. Tiger said, our community, the people that actually live here, that's one of our greatest assets. I've met many people and formed friendships, and the people are what make this town. If we continue to strive to build that community, and maybe that is, making changes to our downtown area, or making upgrades, doing things that can benefit to maybe foster that community, or at least display the community that we currently have to, other areas that would bring more people in that may generate more revenue, stuff like that. But yeah, I would have to say it's the people in the city. They're just all down home good people. I haven't met a bad one yet. I'd say weakness, it'd probably be just we don't have the room for growth per se. It's coming. We don't have necessarily the land, from what I can tell, but like with anything, there's ways to find a way to make it work.
Definitely agree. It's our citizens, it's our community. I've seen so many times living in this town that if we put out a cry for help, they will come. I don't care if it's people need help with finances or there's been a tragedy or whatever, they will come. You put out a call for help and they will come. As far as a weakness, I agree with Nick, we're landlocked. And we have to figure out a way to make that work for Liberty.
Yeah, when you're elected to represent the people, I think you kind of have to say the people are the greatest part of the area you're representing, and that truly is the case here. I mean, I lived in Houston. I didn't live in Houston, but I had an apartment in Houston. Was there frequently for a couple of years, and I never really ran into people hardly out and about that I knew. Obviously, you got a couple, few million people there. But here every day, every time I'm out anywhere in public, it seems I'm always having somebody talk to me and trying to guess at my last name or what year I graduated. And those things are very important, and people are they're vocal about their opinions, and that transitions me into the weaker side of I think any organization that represents communication. I don't think you can be too transparent because every action you're doing is to represent the public. And I believe our current city council genuinely does, do a great job of trying to inform and get the public involved. Shout out especially to Tommy Brent for his social media posting. So I think that's definitely an area we can improve on, though. When you see people, I don't think it should be, I don't ever want to intentionally cause people to be us versus them and arguing with each other. If there's like a big ticket issue that the people that vote for us are caring about online, I think we should be getting in there, understanding both sides, and then really laying out why it is the way it is. Sometimes you just have to explain it.
To go with the trend, without a doubt, it's got to be the people. I've never seen, been around, or witnessed anything like it when things are at their lowest point. People come out of everywhere to give back and to help out. I've never seen any more civic-minded people and willing and helping to anything. Personal tragedies. Everybody remembers Hurricane Katrina, and everybody in town was wanting to do their part and help out with my family. and it's not just my family, it's anybody and everybody. Across the board, it's everybody helping out, and those people, hardworking, they can't always give as much as the next guy, but they give, they come up and they show up and they give back, and that, you know, goes beyond any recommendation or kudos you might give someone, but without a doubt, it's the people. On the other end of that, yeah, to go along with that, it's economic growth and where we're gonna put everybody, fit everybody, and how we're gonna make it work. But I bet this council's gonna figure it out, and when we do, we're all gonna be beneficial for it.
Staying on strength and weaknesses, what would be the biggest strength you're gonna bring to the role of city council person? And what's a weakness that you're gonna need to work on?
Biggest strength might be working with others and helping go through a budget where we can try and work within and get along and make sure that everyone gets their piece of what they're looking for and how to make it work. And try to get along with people and see their needs. A lot of times people see things in a different view, and they jump to Facebook and bash the city or a certain person, and that's not always the way to do it. By simple phone call or asking questions, you can find out so much information. As I have found out, I've been going to the meetings now since October or so, and sitting in the back of the room, you can learn a lot, but you just ask just a couple of questions about this or that, maybe something you didn't know, and you find out all kind of information. So weaknesses maybe, you gotta be more people-oriented, I guess, and I want to hear what everyone has to say. I want to hear what their feedback is. Part of what I say, and my wife will be the first one to tell you this, is that you may not always like the answer, but I'm going to tell you the truth, and I'm not going to doubt your question. So that's something I'll be working on if elected, but would like to see more of that across the board with everyone.
I think a strength that I'll bring, which is one I experienced in my personal life, is I've been able to train several people in accounting over my years, and every time I was training someone, I always came across something where I said, "This is how we do this," or "This is how we do that," and they would ask why. And Jim, for the most part, I was that person too, so I often didn't know, but there were occasionally some things that I just defaulted to and didn't really ask, why we do it a certain way. And when someone you're training asks you that question and you don't know the answer, you kind of feel like you have a responsibility to give them the answer. So I think one unique thing that I could bring to this group is that I don't have a lot of experience in government, and I don't have a lot of experience representing the public, and I'm also only 30 years old, so I don't have as much life experience as most of the current council or all the current council. And so I think, as they are teaching me, how the government works and what the public, how they'll react and what they care about, that'll give me a chance to ask them why, and, maybe there will be some whys that they don't know the answer to, and they research and find out there is something we're doing that we don't need to do the way we're doing it. And then my greatest weakness is sometimes my delivery of things can be kind of blunt. I try to be more gracious with it, but sometimes, I just tell people like it is, and I try to read the room first, but still working.
I have served on council for 14 years. I feel like I have some good experience. There's been good, there's been bad. I have worked hard to understand the budget process and to prepare for the budget process. I believe in the infrastructure. I believe in the fire, police, safety, and I will continue to push for all of that for our citizens. Weakness, my mother always told me, what crosses my mind crosses my mouth. That's it.
The strengths that I would bring to city council. My current career, I have developed a technical skill set that I deal with information technology day in, day out. What that requires me to do day in, day out is problem solve all the time. So that is one of my strengths that I can bring is there's not a problem I'm not gonna get to the end of it and not have an answer for it. I'm gonna figure out how to make it work no matter what. Weakness, I don't know everything. I mean, you gotta start somewhere, but I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna learn.
I think probably my strengths are that I'm well-versed in large departmental budgets, and I've been taught how to evaluate dollars expense to desired outcomes, and that makes it a lot easier to look a lot of times at a budget and how you're spending money than just trying to see if you're getting to the bottom line. I also think in my strategic planning that I was able to train and evaluate others, that it was something that is actually part of my heart. And so I think I understand the need to have a plan and the importance of it. I am always comfortable asking questions, and I'm really good at recruiting help from other people. I think my biggest weakness is sometimes I'm too persistent and I have higher expectations of projects and people than sometimes they might want to give. And sometimes, as my husband will shake his head, yes, I push a little hard.
All right, we've come to our closing statements. You will each have a minute and a half or equal to that you wish to use. Start with Mrs. Duggar.
Thank you, now you can hear me. I'm hoping that I get to continue the work I've done. I really would like to be on another 2 years. I think that I can help the City of Liberty be the best version that it is. And I think that we're heading in the right direction, but that I want to focus and enhance our extraordinary character of our city and try to show off our gems, as I talked about earlier. If you have any questions about my past voting record or about, you have any issues or ideas that you have, please feel free to call me. Any concerns, my number is 936-402-3565, and I welcome a comments. And I also want your vote.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. And thank you to the Vindicator for hosting the candidate forums. It's been really nice. And great job, by the way, everybody. I'm running because I care about where I live. I care about the city where my daughters are growing up. I care about the friends and family and the over 9,000 residents that call Liberty home. I want to help guide our growth in the right direction while keeping the small town charm. My goal is to make the decisions based on common sense and facts, and decisions that serve the majority of our community and not just the select few. Thank you, and I look forward to your vote and your support. Thank you.
I am excited to watch the fun and wonderful things that are going to be happening for our city. We have a lot of good things going on, and I want to continue to see that. I would be honored to continue serving you on the Liberty City Council. Your support and your vote mean everything to me. Thank you for the trust that you have placed in me over the past 14 years, and I would ask that you give me another 2 years. And thanks to the Vindicator for doing this for us. Thank you.
So, in the interest of transparency, I truly, believe Debbie and Libby have both done a great job and have great experience. So, in my mind, I see this as kind of a three-way race for one seat, to be honest. And I hope if you're interested in having someone a bit, different. I think if you've been watching the news recently, sometimes letting the socially awkward businessman into the ring helps clean things up. So I'm happy to bring that socially awkward businessman in the ring, looking at things with a political perspective and being as transparent as the people want us to be. Thank you.
As I listened to everyone's comments across the table here, several times I made a little note and said, man, I wish I would have said that. I don't think you're gonna go wrong with anybody on this group here, but I would just like to have you take into consideration my body of work the last several years in school board and youth league The way I approach things now is just take a little common sense, step back, take a deep breath and say, how are we gonna figure this out and how are we gonna make it work? Again, I think as a group, we're all rowing a boat in the same direction and it'll be a good group to work with. At the very most important thing is the city's best interest is at mind here. And I think everyone on council voting that will see it in that direction. Again, just common sense thinking and the way I approach things, and would hope that you would swing my way and I would appreciate your vote. So please take that in consideration. Thank you.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming out tonight and participating in this candidates forum. Election day is May the 3rd, Saturday, May the 3rd. Early voting will begin next Tuesday, April 22nd, and run through the 29th of April. You have the opportunity to vote for up to 3 candidates in this race. There are 3 open seats. You could opt to vote for 1 or 2, but you have the choice to vote up to 3. As they appear on the ballot again, Mr. Bruce Bell, Trent LaFour, Libby Simonson, Nick Dennis, and Debbie Ducker. And we just asked everyone to go out and vote, and hopefully this helps you a little bit in making your decisions. Thank you all for attending tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.